Ia uite cât sunt aici. Și lângă restaurant.
As you can see, they're not afraid of the boats, no humans. They very often come to us before we find them. We're quite attracted to them, and as much as I can say, we are on snowfish safari. On some occasions, I'm thinking that they are on a human safari.
great siege show 333 soldiers killed and 138 disabled by wounds. However, many more suffered or died from illness and disease. In an age of professional nurses, losing their
Zumara mas wala siya. Ha?
Tuloy na.
Iso.
Piso na. Oh, wala.
Arranjadíssimo.
Elle Claudite.
Existe que eu vou parte de teatro. Când opresc mașina.
Iš galo laikyk kepurę, bet su kita ranka. Kartą aš nefotkinu. Aš biškį pafotkinu. Laikyk kepurę su kita ranka. Nu pafotkink, nu kad kažkaip. Aš fotkinu.
Pyko ant šitų vaikų. Daug.
Bet tikrai šiandien žinutė.